Hey, I'm Clint with Pour Your Poison. We're in my kitchen. It's eggnog time. It's that time of the season. I'm going to teach you how to make basically an egg-based adult custard with, you can use brandy, which we're going to use. Your choice of brandy doesn't have to be anything spectacular because you're cooking it down with a lot of flavors. And the things you're going to need to actually do this, you're going to need a stove, you're going to need a big pot, you're going to need a couple bowls, a measuring cup, a whisk, thermometer in this case is going to be pretty helpful. It's a slow process of cooking. You're going to cook this really slow to 160 degrees until the egg cooks properly. Refrigerate, add the booze, so on and so forth. So let's get started. The main things that we're going to need are eggs. We're going to use 3 eggs and then the yolk of the 4th. We're going to use 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt just to kind of cut the flavor, bring some flavor out. We're using 1/4 cup of sugar on the heavy side, so like 1/4 cup and a tablespoon. We're using 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, a little bit of spice, and we are using a 1/2 tablespoon of vanilla. Okay, 2 cups of milk, whole milk. You want this to be heavy and rich. And then we have 1/4 cup of heavy whipping cream. We're not going to use this till the end, so we're going to set this to the side. All right, so let's get started. In a bowl or a pan, what you can do is you can actually add everything to the pan, start whisking it. I'm going to actually break up the eggs first in a bowl, dump it in the pan, and go on from there. It's a little easier to do. So we're going to crack 3 whole eggs into our bowl. And then we're going to take the yolk of the 4th. So basically when you're taking the yolk out of an egg and you're keeping the egg white separate, I'm going to do this in this bowl. You basically roll the egg yolk out of the shell. From shell to shell, the egg white will fall. Really easy way to separate it. So we have the egg yolk. So we're going to whisk this with a whisk. If you don't have a whisk, you can use a fork, but I'd highly recommend using a whisk for this. So we're just going to break this up. All right, now that that's done, we're going to add the whisk to there. We're going to dump the egg in. We're going to get rid of this bowl. Now, we're going to add the salt and the sugar and the nutmeg. We're going to save the vanilla till the end so you don't cook the flavor out of it. We're also going to save the brandy till the end so you don't burn the alcohol out of that. So we're going to make it a big boy eggnog. So now what we do, this is a slow process. We're going to slowly stir this in. And as we stir this in, what you have to do is you slowly pour the milk in. You don't pour it all at once. That'll break it. It'll separate it. We're going to whisk this, and the whole time we're pouring the milk in really slowly, we're going to whisk it until it's completely blended. So we just go dribbles. You keep stirring it. Be patient with this as well, because you don't want to mess it up. You don't want this to separate at all. Okay, we're almost there. Turn in nice light yellow color. Okay, so now all the milk is in, 2 cups. Set that to the side. Now, we are going to turn the heat on as low as possible. So we're going to turn it on low. We're going to slow cook this. This is a part that takes a little time. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes to cook this to about 160 degrees. You don't want to cook it much more than that because it'll actually cook the egg. It'll start to clump. So we're going to turn on the burner. We're going to get this as low as possible. Okay, and you're going to keep stirring this throughout the process. If you don't stir it, it's going to clump, it's going to lock up. You're not going to have a nice, rich, creamy eggnog. So this is the part that we wait. You can see the process. Keep a thermometer on handy. Every once in a while you want to take the temperature. Make sure you don't go over that 160 degree Fahrenheit point. And then we'll show you what's next. All right, 10 more degrees, we're done. All right, we're back. We've been stirring this for about 20-25 minutes now, slow heat. And as you can see, the color has definitely changed. It's really creamy and rich. It's got a little foam on the head of it. That's from stirring. And we're going to take the final temperature. I'm guessing it's going to be right around 160. All right, so now we're at 160 degree Fahrenheit. We're going to kill the heat. We're going to keep the whisk on hand, but we're going to dump it in a bowl. Now what I'm doing it a little differently than what traditional recipes ask for. I took a big bowl, ceramic, and I chilled it in the freezer. As you can see, it's cold, it's a little frosty. What this is going to do is it's going to help cool down the custard mix a little faster. In most cases, you're going to pour it in the bowl, add the brandy, and the vanilla, stir it in until it's mixed, and then refrigerate for 4 hours, anywhere to a day, before you actually add the final whipped cream and you have the final stages of the eggnog. I'm going to add it to a cold bowl. We're going to speed this up because I know when I make drinks, I don't like to wait to drink them. So we're going to dump this in through a strainer just to collect any egg particle that did not break up completely. And this is going into a cold bowl. So we're going to dump that in. Picked up a little sediment. That's what you don't want in your drink. Bring that back over here, and we're going to stir this a little bit just to cool it down to temperature. Keep everything right. Okay. The bowl is already warm. I mean, obviously you have a hot liquid going into a cold bowl, but this will help set quite a bit. So we're going to slowly add the vanilla. We're going to stir this in. Okay, and now the fun part. We're going to add brandy. Quarter cup to a half cup. You don't want to add any more than a half cup because it will be a little thick in the final stages. So we're going to go a third cup right in the middle. And a third cup really is not that much, but it's not an overpowering drink, so it's just don't go heavy on it. You don't want it to be too runny. So this as well. Everything is slowly stirred in. It just helps everything blend together very nicely. And it comes out nice and creamy at the end. All right. We're going to stir this around for just a second. We're going to blend all the ingredients to make sure it's mixed very well. We're going to cover it. We're going to place it in the refrigerator until it cools off. We'll come back to show you the final stages. All right, we're back. Final stages of finishing up our eggnog, alcoholic adult style. So we have the eggnog. It's been chilling. It's cooled through. You're supposed to let it sit, but I'm just showing you that you can speed these processes up if you drink them right away. So I put it in a cold bowl, chilled it up. So now I have heavy whipping cream. I have just over a quarter of a cup. I'm going to whip this up to a soft tip. Basically, you whip it, and when your finger pulls off of it and the tip falls of the cream, you know it's ready. You just want a little body. Once this is done, we're going to whip it into here. So I'm going to do this for a minute. All right, now that I whisked the heavy cream, it's fairly firm. We're going to actually fold it into the eggnog. When I say fold, you don't want to whisk it up because it'll kill the body to the cream. So I'll do this up here so we can all see it. We're going to lose the whisk. And as you can see, this is pretty runny. We're going to add the cream to the eggnog with a spatula. And we're just going to kind of roll this around until everything's nice and blended. And as we can see, and this isn't the way to actually fold it in, but just be gentle with it. And you'll come up with a nice final product. All right. We've folded in the cream or beat it into the batter or the custard. So now we're left with this nice, thick eggnog. Fantastic. So now that this is finished and it's chilled already, we're going to grab a ladle and a glass. We're going to make it all fancy like. We're going to ladle this into a nice wine glass. And you see how heavy it is, custard-like. If you chill this a little longer and let this sit, it'll actually stand quite a bit. But like I said, we don't like to wait. So we are going to do just a pinch of nutmeg over the top. And since I have chocolate on hand, we'll garnish this with a little more chocolate. You can garnish it with mint. You can garnish it with basil. You can do anything, pretty much. It's eggnog. It goes really well. Great holiday drink. Enjoy it. Let me know what you think of the recipe. Try it at home. Hit us up on pouryourpoison.com, Pour Your Poison Facebook, and happy holidays. Cheers.